Welcome to another episode here at Deep Mountain Security. Today I kind of want to go over passwords versus passphrases and how to keep yourself secure. So to start off, in light of recent development by NIST and other organizational institutions who check and try and figure out the most secure ways to do passwords, latest settings or the latest information that we have pretty much says that we should stop using passphrases and start using passwords, and I kind of want to show you why. So I'm actually in a Fedora box right here, running LibreOffice Calc instead of Excel. I could be running Excel; it works the same either way. But so I just kind of want to explain a little bit about. I just like using open source stuff when possible, although I do like Excel. But I just kind of want to explain quickly what I've got going on here. So when you've got a password or a passphrase, I'm just going to call them either one, I suppose. You've got length. This is the number of characters, although we might change that up here in a minute. I'll tell you why. Then you've got characters, and this is the character set, so which is what we have down here. These are the number of potential characters, so like just the lowercase alphabet, we've got 26 characters. If you add the uppercase, you've got 52 characters. If you add numbers, you've got 62. If you add special characters, you've got 94. All the ASCII characters, all the Unicode characters. And then I'll get to our dictionary stuff here in a minute, towards the end. But I just kind of quickly want to show you some different stuff. So what I've got set up here is... so this is going to be the number of potential passwords we're going to have, and then this is our cracking speed per second. So this is the number of potential passwords we're going to generate per second on a processor. Now this is a very far-fetched number. You'd have to have some decent computing power, maybe a couple of GPUs to pull something like this off. This is kind of cracking. So this is 500 billion potential password cracks per second that it's trying. And then we've got the amount of time needed to complete, and you'll see why I've got years on here in a minute. So let's just say, let's start off with an easy to crack password. Let's make it 6 characters long, maybe it's admin1 or something, and then we're only using lowercase characters. You're going to notice that this is going to be cracked really fast. So maybe we have an 8-character password, not too bad. I'll hook it's still... that's like, a couple seconds or something like that. Well, maybe we need, uppercase uppercase letters as well. So let's change this to 56. Now we're up to, 3 minutes if we've got upper and lower case, So if you add the numbers in there, boost it up to 62, it's about 7 minutes. So even with, crazy special characters, most of the stuff you've got on your keyboard, within about 3 hours, you can crack most passwords that are 8 characters long. And this seems to be what most places are actually is the standard for most corporations now, is having at least 8 characters long with an uppercase, lowercase, a number, and a special character. And, well, with about 3 hours of time and the right kind of algorithm or hashing method, we could most likely crack, brute force, or figure out your password. Although that's given we're going really, really fast here. 3 hours, it's kind of sketchy. I mean, if we could bump that up to, all Unicode characters, but then who in the world is going to be using weird umlauts and stuff like that on your keyboard when you're typing passwords? That makes it impossible to type, but I mean, if we really wanted to, and add the 65... 335 right there or whatever. All right, now we're looking into years, but no one's going to type that out, right? That's just ridiculous. Let's go back down to 94. Because this is just everything on your keyboard. I believe that includes the space as well. And so, not very much time at all. However, one thing I want to note is that, so these are highly complex passwords incorporating numbers and special characters, not too bad. If we bump that up to 10 characters in length, already we're at about 3 years to crack. So I just want to make a note that that's a big difference, and this is a really, really fast cracking speed. So maybe we don't want, so that's 3 years right there. So just so you can have a comparison, so if we do an 8-character complex password, it's about 3 hours. 10-character complex password, that's about 3 years. If we go back down to an 8-character password and maybe it's only alphanumeric, so only 64, you're going to notice that by just taking it down from 94 of these complex characters down to just alphanumeric, you're going to notice that we went from 3 hours to about 10 minutes. So that's why people want you to have the special characters, because it does add to complexity. However, it's still not ideal. So let's go up to 10 with just alphanumeric or whatever, and all right, now we're back up to about 26 days or whatever, just by adding a 2 characters onto your password. However, these are still, going to be fairly annoying passwords to type out. So not only are they, somewhat complex and difficult to crack, but they're also, just crazy passwords to remember. I mean, can you even imagine a 15-character password using all kinds of crazy special characters? Sure, it'll take you 25 billion years, I think that is, to crack it with really good processing power, which is like forever for us. However, you're never going to remember the password, and it's most likely you're going to write it down somewhere easy, and it's going to be compromised. So, that's just another thing I want to stress is how easy it is for passwords to be compromised. Somebody might end up, getting a hold of password files, clear text passwords, base64 base passwords, if they're, not going through a secure website. So passwords can be compromised, especially if you leave them lying around, maybe underneath your keyboard or taped to your monitor. That's just a bad idea. Don't do that. Nobody wants to see your passwords on your monitor unless they want to steal your stuff. However, we should hope most people don't really want to do that. So maybe we want to make our passwords easier to remember. So I just want to show you, and there's a couple different things you can use to do this. You can either just make up straight words from yourself, or if you have a dictionary, you can even use a preset dictionary. Diceware is actually a pretty good one. I'll see if I can include a link to that below. But so let's say we have 100,000 words, and let's not go off of complexity. Let's build off or let's not go off of length in terms of characters. Let's go off of length in terms of words. So if we have 4 words and we have 100,000 possible words, that's already 6 years, and that's only 4 words long. That could be any kind of random couple of words. This gets even better if you have a larger dictionary that you're using to get words from. So if, maybe it's have like 6, let's say maybe we have 8 words, so now we've got, a little teeny sentence maybe even, with 100,000 possibilities. And look at that. We're already through the roof. I mean, we could probably even take this down to just 5 words, and now we're 634,000 years. That's never happening anytime soon. 6 is just ridiculous. If you have like a 12-character sentence, well, that's not even going to show up on my spreadsheet here. A 12-word sentence. So, let's take it back down to something more manageable, like 10, which is crazy in and of itself. We can't even imagine that. So that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is if you have longish words to remember, like, I don't know, if you had something like porcupine, cupcake, data breach, sledgehammer, for example, if you type that all out, that's about 30 characters long, I believe. We can actually take a look at that. So porcupine, cupcake, data, I can't spell it right, cupcake, data breach, sledgehammer. So this is actually happens to be about 42 characters long. So if we just went with alphanumeric, so maybe back down to 90, let's go down to 52. Let's go to 64, alphanumeric. No, let's go down to 54. 52, and we had a 42 character long password. You notice that right there already broke the chart. If we drop that down to even 30 characters, look at that. This is just, a couple of words. They don't have to be anything crazy, outrageous. That, slightly longer words, sure. But, I mean, I could take off sledgehammer even and be 3 words right there. And that in and of itself is pretty decent, But, so just barely increasing complexity here. It really makes a huge difference. And that's the way, because of the way that passwords are calculated and hashed and everything. But I just wanted to quickly show you guys that, look, Passwords are a thing of the past. I do not recommend you use passwords. I recommend passphrases. We could even drop this down to, just the regular alphabet and go back to our 42 characters long, and we're still breaking it. So this is just an all lowercase right there, exactly what we have, and we're still breaking it. If I drop it down to 40, let's maybe take the M's out of sledgehammer. I don't know. Something weird. Actually, you probably wouldn't remember that. And look at that. This is huge. This would take so many years. We'd never be able to do it unless we had quantum computers. But that's a topic for another day and some crazy stuff in and of itself. I mean, even if we took this 500 billion and we made it into a trillion per se. And look at that. This is still gonna take you forever. Even if we took that and maybe we make that into 100 billion, and we're still taking forever. And these are outrageous speeds right here. Nothing we have. Even if you had, maybe a couple of cluster node servers. A bunch of servers with a bunch of GPUs in them, all hashing as fast as they could. We're still this is still pushing it, and we're still doing fantastic here on 4 words. It's really not that hard. So basically, we want to get away from the old terminology or the old method of taking passwords and making them as complex and difficult to remember as possible, and go towards something where we're making simple, easy to remember passwords that are length intensive. Because just even 4 words right here, I can't emphasize this enough, it makes such a huge difference. But I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is and how simple it is. Another thing I recommend doing is don't use the same password on all your websites, because you never know when the next website or which website's going to be compromised next, which one's going to leak passwords out to the public. So I do recommend switching up your passwords. Don't use something like you can use something to help you remember by website. So maybe my google.com password might contain the word Google in it, but I don't really recommend that because people might catch on to a pattern there. If they were able to look at your website in one place, they might be able to figure it out somewhere else. However, you might consider using maybe a password manager like KeyPass is a local one, or LastPass is a web-based one. Sure, those can be compromised, but if you really look at how, for example, LastPass does their stuff, they're using crazy protocols to make sure that even if somebody is able to, hack into their stuff, they're still not going to be able to see your passwords, and you're not going to be compromised. But that's a whole topic for another day. I just, wanted to show you guys, go for length over complexity, or length over complexity, simplicity over complexity. Make simple, lengthy, easy to remember passwords, and you're going to be so much more secure. Thank you for watching here at Deep Mountain Security. Don't forget to like and subscribe.